What was to take place at Malahar was that there was to be a contest between 12 males, and the winner was to be declared the King of the Travellers.
Gonna hit the edge pretty soon over what happened with his dad.
World of traveller bare-knuckle boxing, it's not just about the fight, it's about honour. It's about family pride, tradition, and the legacy that comes with every punch thrown. This is a fight for more than just victory. It's a fight for respect, for history, for a name that has carried meaning for generations. Every contest is an echo of an ancient tradition, a battle not only for personal glory, but for the collective honour of a family. And what is truly remarkable about this tradition is the code that governs it. The code that ensures every punch thrown, every moment in the ring, is bound by a set of rules that have been passed down for centuries. This is not a sport governed by rings, gloves, or referees. This is bare-knuckle boxing, where the fighters are bound by an unspoken sacred code, a code that defines the very spirit of the sport, a code that speaks of respect, loyalty, and the most fundamental principle, honor. Traveller bare-knuckle boxing didn't emerge from the world of mainstream sports. It wasn't born in the arenas or on television screens. It was born from a necessity, from a culture that valued strength, courage, and respect above all else. Long before professional boxing or mixed martial arts took center stage, bare-knuckle boxing was a staple of the traveller community. It was a way to settle disputes, defend family honor, and test a man's strength. But what made it more than just a violent contest was the code that bound it. A code passed down through generations, a set of rules that governed not just the fight, but the spirit of the fight itself. Before the sport was ever formalized, before the cameras, before the world began to recognize bare-knuckle boxing as anything other than a fight between men, there were the travelers, fighting to defend their families, to settle disputes, to prove their worth. This was a time when respect wasn't just earned, it was demanded, tested, and proven through every match. In the earliest days, fights were often held in remote locations, fields, alleys, or secluded spots where the only spectators were those who had a vested interest in the outcome.
I'm gonna beat you, the lint of violence. I'm the legend, James, not you.
Who's gonna win it?
James Quinn.
Yeah.
James Quinn.
These fights weren't about sport. They were a matter of personal and familial pride. To lose a fight wasn't simply to lose an argument. It was to lose respect. And once that respect was lost, it was nearly impossible to regain. The significance of these fights cannot be overstated. In the world of the travelers, honor is everything. A fighter's reputation is tied to their family's name, and the outcome of each bout directly affects not just the fighter, but their entire community. A loss could be catastrophic, not just for the fighter, but for their entire families standing in the community. Through the years, these fights became more than just personal contests. They became a cultural tradition, one that demanded adherence to an unwritten code. A code that has, to this day, kept the spirit of traveller boxing alive. The most important thing about traveller boxing is the code, the unwritten rules that govern everything. Without the code, this sport wouldn't exist. It's the foundation upon which everything is built. The code ensures that every fighter, no matter their background or skill, is bound by the same principles of respect, fairness, and honor. First and foremost, the code demands respect. Respect for the opponent, for the fight itself, and for the tradition. A fighter must never disrespect their opponent. Insults, cheap shots, or any form of dishonor are strictly prohibited. To disrespect your opponent is to dishonor yourself and your family. Before the fight begins, the fighters meet in the center of the ring and they shake hands. This handshake isn't just a formality. It's a symbol of mutual respect. It's a reminder that no matter what happens in the ring, both fighters are bound by the same code. They are not enemies, they are warriors, and each has earned the right to stand in the ring. Once the fight begins, there are no second chances, no interventions, no excuses. The fight is raw, unfiltered, and unrelenting, but the code demands that the fight be fair. There is no room for outside interference, no cheating, no tricks. The fight must be between the two combatants, and only one will emerge victorious. To cheat, to bring shame to the contest, is to violate the very essence of the code. And when the fight ends, win or lose, the code demands one final act, one final gesture of respect. The handshake, the acknowledgement. The understanding that despite the violence, there is honor in the contest. To win with humility, to lose with grace. This is the way of the code. Behind every fight, there are the elders, the guardians of the code. These figures are the keepers of the tradition. They are the ones who ensure that the rules are followed, that the fight remains true to its purpose. Elders provide guidance, wisdom, and ensure that the fighters honor the spirit of the sport. They act as the referees, but they also serve as the community's conscience. In the world of traveler boxing, no fight happens without the approval of the elders. Without their oversight, there can be no true contest, no respect, no honor. These elders aren't just observers. They are participants in their own right. They set the standards for the fight, and they are the ones who ensure that any breach of the code is dealt with swiftly. Their word is law. And when the fight is over, their role isn't finished. They step in to mediate, to ensure that both fighters leave with their dignity intact. Breaking the code comes with consequences that go far beyond the fighter who violated it. A breach of the code can bring shame not only to the individual, but to their entire family. To cheat, to dishonor an opponent, to disrespect the sacredness of the fight, is to invite disgrace. And once disgrace has been brought upon the family name, it is difficult, if not impossible, to restore it. Dishonoring the code can lead to the fighter being ostracized by the community. They become an outcast, their name tarnished, their reputation forever stained. This is not just about the fight, it is about the lasting impact that a violation of the code has on the fighter's place in the traveler community. The consequences of breaking the code are far-reaching and cannot be undone. Family legacy is everything in this world, and the name you carry into the ring follows you for the rest of your life. To dishonor the fight is to dishonor your bloodline. The loss of respect, the loss of reputation, can shatter the unity of a family. It is a price that no traveler boxer is willing to pay. But the code is not just about the fighter. It is about the community. It is about the bond between families, between the past and the future. It is a way to ensure that every fight remains true to its roots, that the traditions of the travelers are carried on, from one generation to the next. The code is what keeps the spirit of the fight alive. It is what binds the fighters to their families, their community, and to the tradition that has endured for centuries. Without the code, bare-knuckle boxing would not be what it is today. It would lose its meaning, its purpose, its place in the hearts of those who follow it. And as the sport has evolved, as it has moved from the shadows into the light, the code has remained unchanged. It has survived through the generations, passed down by the elders, respected by the fighters, and revered by the community. The code is what keeps the fight pure. It is the heart and soul of traveler bare-knuckle boxing. As the world of traveler bare-knuckle boxing evolved, so did its code. Though the spirit of the tradition remains unchanged, the context in which it exists has shifted. What once thrived in seclusion and secrecy is now being drawn into the public eye as bare-knuckle boxing grows in popularity and, in some cases, becomes legal under regulated conditions. But the code, the heart of the sport, still holds true. In the modern-day world, where cameras flash and the world watches through the lens of social media, the code is more important than ever. To win is still to earn respect, but the eyes of the world are upon the fighters. The codes of honor, respect, and loyalty are being tested in ways that were unimaginable decades ago. Yet, for all the change, the core values that govern the fight remain the same. The handshake, the respect, and the unyielding pride of family still rule the ring. Fighters in today's world understand that. They may fight under brighter lights and bigger crowds, but they are still bound by the same rules that their forefathers followed. It's the same code that has stood the test of time, and it governs their actions every time they step into the ring. There is a certain purity to the way the traveler fighters carry themselves, an authenticity that is unmistakable. But even in this new era, there are still those who remain true to the roots of the sport. They still fight in the fields, the quiet places where the crowd is small, but the stakes are just as high. These are the purists, the ones who keep the old ways alive. They are the guardians of the tradition, the ones who know the importance of the code and are determined to keep it intact. For these fighters, it's not about fame or money. It's about family and tradition. It's about preserving the legacy that has been passed down from generation to generation. These are the men who fight not for themselves, but for their family name, for the honor of their ancestors, and for the pride of the community. One of the most important aspects of the code is the role of the family. In traveler boxing, a fighter is never alone. They fight for their family, and every win or loss reflects on the entire clan. It's a collective effort, and the pride of the family is intertwined with the fighter's journey. This bond is unbreakable, and it is this sense of unity that helps define the spirit of traveler boxing. The idea that family is central to the code is not just about bloodlines. It's about loyalty, respect, and honor. Every fighter who steps into the ring carries the weight of their family's reputation. It's this responsibility that gives the sport its gravity. It's not about being the toughest or the most skilled fighter. It's about carrying the honor of your family with dignity. The fight is personal, but it's also deeply communal. Family ties run deep in the world of traveler boxing. Each fight is a battle not only against an opponent, but also for the pride of the family. A win brings respect, but a loss is far more than a personal defeat. It is a reflection of the family's strength, or perceived lack thereof. The ramifications of a loss go beyond the individual. It affects the entire community. That's why every fight is not just a test of physical strength, but also a test of character, of one's ability to honor the code, even in the face of defeat. To understand the depth of the code, one must look to the elder figures within the community. These elders are not merely old men who offer wisdom. They are the living embodiment of the traditions that have kept this sport alive. Their word is law, and their knowledge is what ensures the integrity of the sport. They pass down the stories, the lessons, and the principles that form the backbone of the traveler boxing tradition. The role of the elder is crucial in maintaining the sanctity of the code. They are the stewards of the fight, ensuring that the rules are followed and that honor is preserved. They do not fight in the ring themselves, but their influence is felt in every fight that takes place. They guide the younger generation, teaching them not only how to fight, but how to live by the code. These elders are the ones who settle disputes within the community. When a family's honor is challenged, it is often the elder who steps in to mediate, to ensure that any conflict is resolved with respect and fairness. Their wisdom is what holds the community together, and their decisions are final. To defy the elders is to defy the very foundation of the code. But the code isn't just about respect and loyalty, it's also about fairness. In traveler boxing, fairness is paramount. A fighter who cheats or uses underhanded tactics dishonors themselves and their family. Cheating is not tolerated, and those who attempt to break the code are often ostracized from the community. The consequences of dishonor can be severe. A fighter who cheats will not only face the disapproval of their family, but will also lose the respect of the community. And without that respect, there is no place in the world of traveler boxing. In a sport where the stakes are so high, where every punch is a matter of pride, the importance of fairness cannot be overstated. The fighters must trust in the process, knowing that the fight will be decided by their skill, strength, and adherence to the code. There are no shortcuts, no easy victories. To fight dishonorably is to forfeit everything that traveler boxing stands for. As the sport enters the modern world, the question arises, can the code survive in a world that demands publicity, fame, and monetary reward? In a world where fighters are often seen as commodities, can they still uphold the principles that have defined the sport for centuries? The answer is that the code will survive, but only if the fighters and the community remain committed to it. The values of respect, honor, and loyalty will always be relevant, no matter how much the world changes. It is this commitment to the code that ensures that traveler boxing remains a true reflection of its roots. The rise of regulated bare-knuckle boxing events, with their rings, cameras, and pay-per-view deals, has certainly changed the landscape of the sport. But even in these more public settings, the essence of the code remains intact. The fighters still step into the ring with the weight of their family's reputation on their shoulders. They still fight for respect, not fame. They still honor the code. In the underground world of traveler boxing, the code is even more vital. These are the fights that take place in secrecy, where the stakes are higher and the risks greater. In these clandestine matches, the code isn't just a set of rules. It is the only thing that separates a fight from chaos. The fighters know that if they break the code, they not only lose their place in the community, they lose their honor. And in the world of traveler boxing, that is more than a loss. It is a fate worse than defeat. The truth is, the code is not just about the fight. It's about everything that surrounds the fight. It's about the respect between the fighters, the loyalty to their families, and the honor that comes with carrying their name into the ring. It's about preserving a tradition that has endured for centuries and ensuring that future generations continue to uphold it. In the end, it's the code that makes traveler bare-knuckle boxing more than just a sport. It's the code that makes it a way of life, and as long as there are fighters who honor it, the spirit of traveler boxing will continue, rooted in tradition, bound by respect, and defined by the code.